Any person that's acting this way has mental health issues. So even if you're in a domestic violence situation, the male, on the male side, when we talk about that, has mental health issues, right? The serial killer has mental health issues. Do we sit there and go, you know what? We need to be nice to them and let them recover. That's not how people talk about it, right? So here's a strange thing. So when I was going through things, I realized, I go, yeah, she's almost exactly like how Michael Jackson was being when the allegations came out. And she does the child thing. She probably relates most to him anyway. And then it's just a public persona. But in real life, he's like this different person. And that is validated by multiple sources that he was not that person in public. And one of the things I noticed, her little masky slips off like every now and then, even in the past, it's like a hindsight, but her public persona is sweet and nice and controlled. And she was very controlled. And I was watching that and I'm like, that cannot be good. And we're sitting back going, oh, it's totally fine that this woman does domestic violence on men. Like, I'm not okay. I wasn't okay with it when her ex came out. I was like, yeah, Chucky, what? And everybody's like, oh, you just need to understand. But take a look at the people who are defending her. They're very messed up people. We already know their background, like some of them. And it's just like, they're using words that they shouldn't be using towards him either. There's like a lot of things. And anytime I was talking on topics, some of these women have attacked other women, other people before. So they have different, like there's different stories. But they came to her defense really quickly. And I'm just sitting here watching her going, man, she's evil as hell, man, at times. It's not to say she doesn't have a sweet side. I'm sure she does. That's why these guys are with her. Because she probably has this really nice persona. And then this person comes out, regardless of how it comes out. Why have we gotten to the point where it's like we're minimizing that on men? I just have a problem because it's like, duh, that's why they would then grow up to be a monster on me, or have substance abuse problems or other domestic violence issues because mommy here is off kilter and punching the crap out of them and taking knives and being physically violent and verbally abusive. These are not these are not, I was trying to differentiate when we do stuff. It's not to say that we're all perfect and totally healthy all the time. But just the differentiating thing to it. So it's like when I'm fighting with somebody, I don't then turn around like I'm losing the fight and then say something totally horrifically terrible to them and then start being vindictive. Like she has this thing and I can't shake it, man. Like I'll read it and it's like, damn. And then the next thing you know, some enabler in her camp or her friend, I can just imagine who these people are, but they put out these like things or like, she's the sweetest, kindest person ever. I'm like, oh, here's enabler parent. It's like kind of sick because it's not even allowing her to sit there and be honest with herself and realize you have a very dark, mean soul going on right there, regardless of how it's coming about. Be it bipolar, those moments. And if you know you're having that, you need to confront it, embrace it, and admit to it and go get help. Be a Louis C.K. Because he's sitting there, he's a very self-centered guy, but at least he isn't out here calling people liars, doing all this bullshit. If you guys will notice, what she just recently did was exactly like Corey Feldman. And I was like, oh no, now I'm going to read it. It was the biggest flag ever because what she was saying was, and it's very Christian-like too, when they said don't read any other doctrine because it's evil, right? Okay. Anytime you see that, that's the guilty party. I don't know because me as a victim to other abusers, I've always said, go ahead, talk, because I'm gonna listen to it and I'm gonna respond in that manner. And I always did. So we didn't do this like mute them out. Oh, don't listen to a single word they say. If you love me, you wouldn't even support that. Did you see this? It's like an enabling thing. If she ever did that with her kids, that's awful. It was like a thing like that. People who love you wouldn't humiliate you. Okay, so she's jumping ahead of it and throwing this out to the public. Yeah, and then we know K-Fed has issues. This isn't a thing saying K-Fed's perfect and he's like this great guy and anything like that. Anytime I drag K-Fed, it's always lighthearted. It's just based on public stereotype garbage. You know what I mean? It's just that. I did a little rappy song. It's like, but I have to because I always did that. I did that before somebody else. But yeah. The long time ago. I just rehashed the past thing when I was going through it about a bazillion years ago, and then I've chronically kind of gone, down that road. But no, somebody posted saying K-Fed caused her to do this. It's like, no, K-Fed does not cause her to be a domestic violence abuser towards men. This is a serious topic, actually. And it's just when I'm just watching women sit there and pass it off and minimize it. It's pretty amazing. The only thing I could think of is why that's going on is because they minimize it on us, and then they don't see it as serious on anybody else, maybe. I mean, that they normalize it on them, so therefore they normalize it on others. But like I said, some of the people that have been doing it right now came from really bad, violent, or verbally abusive backgrounds. So it makes sense as to why they would all connect, right? So that's what I'm looking at. I've been doing that for a long time. I'm like, yeah, she has major issues. This one has major issues. And then I was trying to pull up something, and then those people started bullying other people, talking about some issue related to that person. And I go, wow, that's interesting. They're not good people. And they're abusing their position of power because they're like celebrity people going after non-celebrity people. It was like a thing like that. So it tells me like they're fine with abusing people and abusing positions that I would never put them in. But they're like the same people. And then just the way they approach this, and I was like, well, I don't have a problem with people pulling out like he's using it to make some money. Yeah, sure, maybe he is. But you can't disregard the information put out because she's not being honest, or it's either one of two things. She's purposely lying, which I believe she is. But then she might be in episodes, like when you're going through the story, where like if you pull it up, if she's on drugs or anything else, may have no recollection. So when that happens, I guess you would come out saying you're just a liar because she has no memory of it. There's been tons of addicts out here that have no memory for years. Like, there's spans. So I don't know if that's going on, but it's the setup. It's like, why don't you let them speak and let's hear what they say? And then if you disagree with the part, then disagree with the part. That's just how I look at it. People are like, it should be in private. It's like, well, she didn't make her thing private. And then it has been a public story for a long time. I almost hit the story wrong because I didn't wait to read the newer thing that was out because the other ones were just really petty. Like what they originally put out was kind of like, nothing new, nothing new, nothing new. And then when this came out, what I just did, that's the real perspective. That's the thing that is actually worth something, in my opinion, because we have this major problem in society with someone shooting up the place. And it's telling you right now, everybody's minimizing it and ignoring it. And I think that story reps a lot of family home lives with the mentally ill mother on the mother side. Because we know the dad side, like dad's not home or whatever, or the abusive dad. But this is on the mom side. So I was like, yeah, that's actually has been in tie with the cases we've been going through. There's been cases. And then they're just not seeing Britney as that abuser. The sexual abuses in there is frightening. Because it's done like... It's a child sexual abuse. It's in the manner of something that's sexual and inappropriate on a child, where I do believe a lot of the public would pass that off. maybe. It doesn't sound like K-Fed did. He stopped it. He's like, and my son. But they're not really viewing it that way. Or at least he didn't say. He didn't use the term. Or, it's just like, here's the story and take it as you will. But there's like, I don't know if there's more in that she did like that. Being nude and inappropriate in front of her sons and trying to take vows with them. Yeah, that's a form of child sexual abuse. I just really want to stress that because I believe it's totally not like, I don't want to say every parent's doing this because God, like hopefully that's not going on. But those are the things. So I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like tons of child sexual abuse in the home within the family dynamic because it would show there's something like normalized that shouldn't be, and it's going to appear in a way that you're missing, like something like that, right? It's not like a typical sex act. It's just child sexual abuse, being abused in a sexual manner, in some way that's inappropriate, something like that. So I was like, yeah, that's it. That's one. And then, so yeah, they're gonna have problems with that. Just the conduct, like what the hell? But I don't know if there's more. I don't know if she did anything like that. But it's almost like she's reverting into a child as well with that. But then she has no lines. And then same thing with Michael Jackson's story from the allegations of that. Just doing very oddball behaviors. We don't know everything he had, right? Like Lisa's mom was even, confirming with some of those things. It's hard. It's one of those things that's hard to know. Like, it's just a ton of different mental health issues, I'm sure. And if you go into his childhood, you'll see where that kind of came about. And then here, yeah, there was unhealthy dynamics, but also from her female friends that she was with, those were also other enablers. You have to look at that too. And they had mental health issues, right? Yeah. And so, there was a meanness within these people that even going back in the hindsight is so disturbing to me. Like they were all celebrating being these horrible sociopath girls. Like it's so great that they're being mean to other girls. I'm like, how is this even acceptable? It's not cool, and it's really weird to read. I just pulled one out today and I was reading through it, and because I was looking for something else because I recall something else happening back then. And yeah, and the comments are just like, isn't it so great? She just shades everybody, all this and that, and it's like this is not proper. Um, and then you see this, and it's like, wow, surprising. You know what I mean? Mean girls turn real mean and beats up men. And doing drugs and things like she just minimized she was like almost honest. It was like the almost honesty thing. Like she gave as much as she felt comfortable saying, but didn't put in all the rest of it. It's more like that. I mean, is it on her what she wants to share? Of course, of course. But she diverted it to, oh no, I never had a problem minimizing it, right? And it's always hard to tell with people because it's like sometimes they really don't have a drinking problem, and there's these people that are over obsessed with like calling everybody an alcoholic when they're not. But obviously, there's some addiction issues here. So if you have addiction issues, then more than likely you would have those additionals, right? Yeah, such an Edie, and yeah, I mean, I try to be as supportive as possible because we don't want, you want to get people to do things, but the way to get them to do things is not help them be in denial. Like, you wouldn't sit there and have a drug addict and be like, yeah, no, dude, you don't have a problem. We're all good. We're friends, everything, and just ignore it. Do you think they're going to go get help like that? No, like you have to be honest with them, but not very, the confrontational thing, they don't act well to it either. It's just more of like, well, you need to get honest with yourself. That's really it. She's not honest with herself. And then I just hate the fact that she just gaslit the public. It's just like, come on, dude. It's just, you know better. She knows the truth of the story, and so she's just like, it makes me look bad. She wants to control. She is a control freak too, yeah. Because she controlled her emotions so much. She controls. The ED thing is like control, right? Everything has to be controlled. Very controlled. So she wants to control the narrative. And at some point, like, her version is not accurate. You know? It's like some points, okay, sure, these men were bad. I mean, some of the men in the story are just like, what the hell? But they are different. So it's like, are they beating her up? No. I don't know if anybody ever did. But, no, K-Fed wouldn't have caused her to beat up all the men. It's like her ex is like walking out her bruises all over his body, and we're supposed to be okay with this? Regardless of what's wrong with her. Again, what domestic violence abuser doesn't have a mental health issue? Ask yourself that. They all do. Nobody would act like that. She has control problems, right? The domestic violence abuser is always very controlling. And that's her. You're seeing a female version of it. It's insane. She's gaslighting. She's like, oh, he's gaslighting. I was like, actually, no, he's actually not. I'm going to have to be on the side of, he's not gaslighting. I can't say what his MO is for right now. You know, all that. I go, but let's put that aside, because beyond that, like, what's in here? Let's look at the meat of this. I think we need to turn it into what it should have been. And we need to make it okay where these men are not afraid to come out because Britney is manipulating her fans. And it is true. Yes, she is. And she could be so mean. Like, not, it's like, I know what I'm going at these dudes. It looks like that, but I'm not vindictive evil like that. Like, she really, I was like, wow. Like, I wouldn't really want to meet her because in that state, because all it takes is this moment. You could tell right now, like, she gets mad and it's just going to go up and beyond to the scary point where the men are scared. The men are scared. And then she's running around with a knife and weird stuff. And then it's just kind of like, yeah. It was hard for me to go after the knife thing, man, because I was like, well, I used to flip knives for, like, I was trying to do it for entertainment on the stage. But I'm not running. This is why they were concerned. There's a backstory, right? So she's going to doorways with holding a knife, and the whatever she did with the knife is the addition, right? It's not, oh, I'm just dancing with the knife, right? But yeah, it would make me feel like a hypocrite. I'm like, you should never dance with knives, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to, like, just be proper on it, because I don't want it coming back going, well, you did it, so you need to explain, like, why I can't. It just happens like that. So I was just like thinking. I had a hard time yesterday, though, because I tried this story 3 times. And it's usually a learning experience as I'm going through the story. And I was so stumped. I was just stumped. Like, it's like, at 1 minute, I want to be mad at Kate for doing it right now, just the timing. But then I'm like, he so has the right to say something. It's just, that wouldn't be right of me to be like, I was trying to figure out where I should be on it. It was weird. But the other story didn't come out till today, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I think the proper thing is just whatever the timing is, we're gonna look past that right now and look at the real story, because the fan should not enable somebody to harm other people. And they need to understand that her harming other people gave them mental health issues. So they're going to have mental health issues now for life because of somebody else. So her importance isn't over theirs. And to understand that dynamic. So I think it's important. But there's just these people out there that want to promote domestic violence on men. I mean, it's a clear case of it. It's not he says, she says. Like, the dude coming out with bruises and you know. and in fear of their life. I mean, these are real cases of men in fear of their life because of Britney, because she's that much of a monster. We'll say at times, because obviously she has these moments where things are okay, but and then they keep going, she lost her kids, and so that I'm like, well, like my friend, but my friend had self-awareness. My friend was a very good person, very good soul. Even when she had her addiction problems, she was not a mean person. She didn't go beating people up, none of that crap. No, no, she did not manipulate me. I mean, when she was in her addiction moment, she didn't want me to know she's really doing that. But her whole thing was, she was so sad she lost her kids. She knew why she lost her kids. Like, she had self-awareness. She's like, I have an addiction problem and I need to get better because I want my kids back. I love my kids so much. Okay. Yes, I understand her pain. And I'm sure it was compounding her issues. But for anybody out here to be like they should have gave the kids to her or something, you're insane. If I saw this happening, I would have had it where she had no visitation. Because when you read the excerpts of that thing, she harmed them even without having custody, I think it was. And she was still doing things, whenever she said these other things. No. And she didn't learn her lesson from that. She never looks at herself and goes, wow, I'm the problem. That is the problem. Mind you, not everything is her fault, but she doesn't take any responsibility for herself. Like, none. Like, oh, wow, it's like you told your son that. Like, you should come out here and say, that was wrong of me. I have mental health issues and I need to apologize to my son. Nothing like that, right? It's totally like, throw it off. It's all lies. He's gaslighting. He's a manipulator. He's this and that and this and that. And I'm like, no, actually, the person manipulating is the person saying that in this case. It's interesting. You have to be aware of that because abusers are aware of those terms and they will manipulate it. And it makes it hard sometimes for other people to know who's what. But I'm telling you right now, she did something that somebody else did that has major mental health issues to try to throw you off to not look at it. Because me as a victim, again, I went through this with the perpetrator and them making up stuff, but I welcomed the conversation and highly disagreed with their spin of it. But I said, go ahead. We'll answer the questions to it because the truth is the truth, right? And you have the right to speak, and that's a free speech thing too. So she obviously is not for that either, only hers. But no, I'm not like that. So it was weird. So I was like, yeah, that's a major flag. Yeah, it's like, just ignore it. So what? It's kind of the if you love me thing, you wouldn't do it. It's just the manipulative tactic. You just have to pay attention to the abuser talking. We listen to both parties very well because they both could say the same thing, right? It's just the manipulation tactic, kind of like, if you really loved me, or it just says weird things. But I just told you, right away, I was like, oh, man, it's going to be a lot of true stuff. And she is not going to, she's not going to take responsibility for it. I think in her position, like if I was even her people, I'd be like, admit to it, apologize for it, and then say she's working on herself to be a better person. That was a while, whatever the bullshit is, and she's going to go forward and work on whatever. But you don't mean it. You really have to have it from the place of they want to do that. I don't want to see this manipulative thing and it's just all bullshit for the public. Like, she should care about herself. Not anybody out here, not a shit show, none of that. For herself. Because she's only hurting herself. And she's hurting other men. I mean, damaging them. Like, I still have PTSD from that mentally ill family. Like, still. I have so many different PTSD situations. And I'm not kidding. That one I get nightmares chronically, like just the lady and the whole weird thing, and then other people remind me of her and it's not their fault, and I'm just like, ugh, it's that bad. And so she causes those things. It's like to see Britney as this like monstrous person, and it's just like chronically like, oh my God, and the kids are running and hiding from you. Oh, I kids have never done that with me. I was like, oh my God. I'm way better with kids than adults. I mean, as far as like even the bad kid with who they consider bad kids, they because there's a thing about it. Because when you listen to them, they are more likely to respect you and do things that you want them to. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, can you please like do this one thing? Instead of that whole, back and forth, back and forth. Um, but they're not my kids 24/7. But yeah, because their parents talk to them like, a dictator. So then they treat the parent not that great. But there's no connection with their son, with their mom here. It's a scary thing. I'm most concerned about the public because that's where the horrifying details are. That's why the boys are shooting up the place. It's so many different things, but it's like this is that thing where it's like, oh, we just disregard their pain and suffering. It's okay. Anyways, Brittany here, Brittany here. Oh, wow. So on the male side of it, if you go in their perspective of it, that is absolutely annoying as hell. And I'm like, I'm not going to join that. I can see she's evil as hell. I mean, I can see it. It isn't like out of your view. Um, every time they say sweet, I go, I haven't seen her sweet in a long time. You know? I mean, just to be honest, it's just, I just been like, man, I don't know. Like, you just don't want to say anything because she's going to just, like, passive aggressive, very passive aggressive, little snotty. I wouldn't put that at the top of her list, but there's a little of that. But she's aware. She's very aware. She's control. She's aware. It isn't. She's so out there. She's in a spell and she don't know what the hell. No, she's controlling the narrative. That takes somebody that's sharp and aware, like, of what's going on to be able to do that. Like an addict, like somebody that has like addiction problems or like they know everybody knows they do and they have to like lie and scheme so nobody catches them. She's kind of in that thing, but who would say they're so sweet and naive, like about themselves, like oh my God, at like age 40 something or whatever. While I don't want to say she doesn't have those qualities, I'm sure she does, but right now it's just the Wicked Witch of the West, like it's evil grandma. I mean, let's be real. I mean, that's just the honest God truth about it. I was like, holy shit, man, she's like, I mean, she may be worse than her actually, because she didn't run around with a knife after me, but she needs to see that. I mean, you have to, she has the self-awareness that you have to know that you're a bad person going on like that in those moments. But if she doesn't feel anything from it, yeah, some other issues there. I was pulling out other people want to say other stuff. I go, well, the corrector for most people is that once they do it, like, there's certain people that they do something wrong and then they don't feel good about themselves for doing it, but they still might have mental health issues, but like they don't feel good that they did that. And then they come back and they apologize for it, but they have mental health issues, right? That's like the domestic violence abuser who does stuff and they come back and they apologize, but then they keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. I don't even think she has that, man. It's like the compass. Like, at least, like, that's there on some people, because then it's like, okay, so you have a thing to feel bad about doing something harmful. But if you don't, I don't know. You guys can sit with it and analyze it, but I just, her problems are pretty severe. Pretty severe. And she's not honest with herself. She knows it, and she doesn't give a shit. So, what can you do? You can't do anything. You just have to let it be. I mean, that's just something in life. I mean, you want to control it, but you can't. You need to let it be. She needs to hit the bottom wherever she's gonna go until she, decides that, okay, I have to do something because whatever. Um, I mean, I don't know how much further of a danger she is to other people. I mean, just from what they're saying, it's kind of like, I mean, if you read a story that she sliced some dude to death, I wouldn't even be surprised. Let's put it that way. That's actually in her. Um, and it would just be from these issues compounding. I was like, I mean, that's to be honest. Like, I mean, I don't know about her doing to self, but she definitely, that's something I would be afraid as a male. And I don't know exactly how I haven't heard a story of her pulling the knife out on females. Has she done that? I mean, maybe she has, but I don't know. I don't know. I keep questioning if it's even from what they're saying. The bipolar thing? Mm, you guys can put your opinions in your, it's kind of like, it seems like there's like other stuff. I don't know. Maybe it is that. Maybe that's just all the different things it does. Maybe that's what it is. It sucks when you don't have it or like have a person really close to you that, but even then, I was saying they just show differently. Different people show differently. So I don't know. But she has an inner Ted Bundy. She does. And I just have a hard time thinking that that is particularly part of it. It's almost like if you have that and then that in addition, because it's reminding me of another criminal dude, and I was kind of like, I believe they had it with it, and maybe like they can interpret that only, but they actually have other issues with it. So then they just say, "Oh, that." I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, and it must be weird hearing people like go on, about your problems like in the public. But I try to keep it fair. Like I go through mine. We all do bad things sometimes. Like that saying. But not to minimize this. I know if you definitely start going into the thing of harming other people, this is the harm to self and others. You fall in another spectrum, and I don't know why they're not really focused there. I don't know. See, that's the part where I'm saying, I don't know. I think there's other things here, but that's just me. Some of this stuff is very manipulative. She is actually calculated, very meticulous. Like it's the I come off kind of dumb and stupid type of thing, but no. Like when I'm going back through it, I'm like, no, you have to be pretty like sharp because I wouldn't even do that. Like she did some things, and I was just like, yeah. You have to really zoom in on it. But you have to know what you're looking for too. But I'm always looking for the monster in the room. So I'm always looking, regardless of who I'm looking at, if I feel like, I'm like, I'm trying to dissect, like, do they have this thing? She could manipulate her therapist. She could do a number of things and then have the other things on top of it too. So that's the thing with her. So she could be pretty dangerous. I'm not saying lock her up, but Jesus Christ, she needs to be in treatment. She needs to walk her own butt because she's not going to get better any other way. Her own self. and face and embrace that she has those problems. I mean, nah, it's not a great feeling, but see, she must enjoy being like that, because that cannot be a good feeling. But somehow it is to her, I guess. The family is going through it. The family, yeah. I'm sure they're not saints in this story, but it's just like we're trying to tell the public that it's not this way. Brittany's manipulating everybody, and then nobody listens. I knew, you know what I mean? Like there's this level of things, and it's just like, okay, where do you go with it? Because it's just really a guessing game. Like I'm trying to figure out like you're trying to figure out like right approaches to things because I know what doesn't work and what makes everything worse. So it's just at the end of the day, she has to make that choice and you have to kind of let it go unless you know that she's about to do, you know what I mean? So, but she doesn't seem there yet. But if she hits, the men should have called, they should have, but they enabled it too, right? Like I mean, they didn't call for the protection of her, which I think is the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing to do. Just like women, when they don't, it's just out of fear or they're trying to protect their abuser. It doesn't matter why they're doing it, but you need, because that's the only other way she's gonna be forced to deal with herself. She has to deal with herself.